Got you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll get with Ricky.
Anybody out here I don't know I need to talk to you?
He's busy enough with everything else.
So no, they were talking to Aaron.
Yeah, I saw your last note on that. That's fine. Yeah, that's
That
fine.
way it's tiring out.
Hey, Mooch.
We can go our position, ask them to just make
Sure.
something too.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I didn't respond. I was getting ready, but I read through it. That's fine.
Well, if you want to pass those out to whomever you want. It's got the post and it's got the wall or the apartment. If you want to, yeah. And I talked to the contractor. I said demo. Is that what he found underneath all that?
These are up front on the.
Underneath the building? Underneath the whole facade?
Yes, underneath that blue.
Yeah, the blue cover.
Yeah, I talked to him. No, this morning. Huh? The new guy is going to touch the inside.
Oh, okay.
The old installer was there. Well, was he?
Yeah. Well, I'm just telling you right there.
I'm gonna bring it up.
No.
Hey Mario, should I do this during Board of Works or council or both?
I would do both.
Okay.
Just keep everybody kind of.
What I'm gonna ask tonight, Mooch, is, this was an addition, I'm guessing probably late 50s, 60s. This adds, it's gonna be hard for a developer to come in and blend everything in here with this.
Yeah, Mr. Call.
There's no historic value here, or historic value is here. I'd love to, everybody think about taking this out.
I'm doing well, sir. I'm sorry.
Doorway out.
Supper.
That section out.
Yeah.
Taking that section out and having the developer who comes in next
But straight up against it.
to go straight up against it.
Hey, Brett.
You know, now, and what you're looking at over here, I don't want to say this is history of town. That is history. Those are probably
what's that payment in
1860s,
advance?
1880s. Okay. Most of them,
They're not going to do logos on the truck.
but I would like for us, the next developer that comes in with those fire escapes and stuff like this, I'd like to suggest this look, guys, maybe we'll try to incorporate these on the corner and try it, because I think they can do it. If they know
Is this
it
the right one
up
to end up on your
front, I
desk?
think they can do it.
Okay, sounds good.
Knock it down.
It looked like Lee, how are you, huh? I'm doing well. I'll take mine.
What does, all right?
Love ya.
Carpenter still on that?
Yeah, Clarky's checking to make sure we can do it and don't get in trouble, because it's in a floodplain.
That blows through the redevelopment.
No, and I didn't even think about it until I told him. So I told him I was getting ready to do this. Well, let me check. I said, well, it shouldn't be a big deal. And he goes, well, it's not that. It's in a floodplain. If somebody would say something. Yeah, I know. Snack. It's supposed to be healthy. Kim puts these in my lunch. Yeah, it's supposed to be good for you. So.
Everybody, I'm sitting here, I want it on.
Oh, it's parts off that building that we're tearing down.
I would like for us to, I want to express my opinion. I just don't want it to disappear.
Oh, you do.
I missed that. No. He is.
And even,
How old is he? 70
and
something?
it's for them to think about.
Really?
Is that building gonna stay there? The building.
This one is, this will stay.
Now he's over on shipping.
And then
I would. I'd be
No, come on.
No,
Hey,
not
Tony.
20 feet there that a person.
You know how it is. Didn't Jimmy Thomas buy these?
I guess we're on. Up and down.
Yeah.
I hope it's recording.
Yep.
Okay, check.
Like the fires.
Now his daughter's in there.
That's not sure.
Uh-huh. Gail.
Oh, did you hand these out?
Yep.
Mario just gave it to me,
Brittany.
so I just passed them out.
All right.
Okay.
Get this show on the road here, huh?
Yeah, she thinks she's listening. That's what she's doing.
How's the Tigers
Well.
ready for this weekend? I haven't heard. I really don't know. You know, anytime you get down there and playing them Evansville boys, it's, you know it's gonna be a hard, tough game. but I really don't know. Well, they're not playing till Saturday.
I mean, I'll back you up or whatever.
Saturday.
They ought to play them all on Saturday, the way the thing is set up.
Yeah,
More
probably,
people can make it.
probably a good
This
idea.
sucks
Hi,
for those
Lee, how you
games.
doing?
My name, I can ask you, who's Bobby?
That's my cousin.
They say he lives the other way.
Yes, he does. He just moved there, as a matter of fact.
I don't know, I know he's got a brother county the other day, I don't know.
No, it's a cousin. Yeah.
Maintenance man wanted to know.
Oh,
I can tell him. Memoirs or something.
yeah, you stay close to him. Oh.
I tell him. I don't ask him.
Oh, I got you there.
That's cast on.
I got you there.
All the ones I've seen.
All right, you better ready to get this show in
I am
there,
ready.
girl.
I am ready.
Huh? Keep me in line here. We got an extra one we got to do.
Yes, we have
A
this
separate one.
one.
Well,
And
this is an advance payment. This is a separate one for
You just want
council,
approval?
right? So should I do it
I
when I
can't.
approve
And then-
And do it
claims?
like right around here, yeah.
And,
And this
In
is, then do
addition.
an advance for
Right.
that one? Okay, all right. Okay, you ready, man?
Ready.
Okay. You guys ready? All right. Welcome, everybody, to, wow, November 6th, 2017, Board of Works. Boy, Turkey Day's right around the corner. All right, could I get a roll call, please?
Member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
Member Alan Calloway.
Here.
Police Chief Donnie Combs.
Here.
Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Here.
City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
President Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
All right. Any announcements? You two guys got anything down there? All right, I don't have anything in this meeting as well. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Committee reports, Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
I had passed out a small packet to everybody, and it's what I was going to cover tonight. I wanted to let the board know that I was approached by C.J. Nutley a while back about a project he's doing for Eagle Scouts, and I created a letter of support for his project. So he's moving forward with that, and hopefully in the coming months we'll be able to have him come in and discuss his project. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Also spoke with Mary Lewis today. I was wanting estimates on Halloween Sensation, and I know that all the goodie bags went pretty quick, which was 550, I believe. But she estimated with probably around 800 people there, and that was the workers too. So that's a pretty big event.
It was a good event. Good event.
Also, one of the last things I have, fire pump testing has been completed for the year. That's each piece of apparatus that has a fire pump on it gets tested. We did have, we're going to have one valve either rebuilt or replaced and some packing adjusted, so no big deal. I'm waiting on the official report back to get that stuff moving to the city garage.
Okay.
And also attached is the run totals for October. We had 76 total calls for October.
All right.
That's all I have.
Okay, one caveat, I will say that the Halloween Sensation was a big hit as always, but Jamie Howard didn't throw anybody off of one of the wagons that he was,
Nope, didn't hear anything.
you know, so that was a plus too, so. All right, Police Chief, Donnie Combs.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to let the board know that we do a scholarship program each year. Last year we could not do it last year. This is the Tom Cocker Memorial Scholarship. We give to the schools, 4 schools we give to: Lawrenceburg, EC, Rising Sun, SD. But this year I think we're going to have enough. We just got a very nice donation from the COPS program, and those are the people who ride bicycles across U.S. or across Indiana.
Right.
So they gave us a very generous donation on that, so I think we can start
Good.
the program again. So I'll be contacting all the schools and let them know that we're running that again.
That's good. Now, do you guys handle that, or does the community foundation handle that for you?
We do that.
You do it? Okay.
Yeah, our officer, Troy Cochran, actually does the,
Okay.
the last year he couldn't, he just had a lot going on, so
All right.
he likes to do the golf outings and things.
Okay.
He and his brother like to go to the schools to hand out the scholarship, actually. It's a good program. So, good to say that we'll be able to start that back up this next year.
Okay.
Then I have another topic on down below, so I'll wait for that. That's all I have.
All right. EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Yeah, Mayor, the first thing we'll talk about is 430, the old truck. And I want to know if I can get permission from the board to pursue and get rid of it. I do have a potential buyer right now. I don't know how far we're going with it, but 50-50 chance we can get rid of it.
I got an email from a gentleman, Rescue 69.
Yes.
And I have not responded yet because I thought you would bring it up tonight, so I wanted to respond after tonight. But I think they're the party that you think is interested. I think what we got to figure out is do we have to, are we able to, are they,
They are non-for-profit.
they are nonprofit?
Did find that out.
Okay, so we probably are able then to pursue that if we want to with another nonprofit. We were talking about that, I think that was in the staff meeting about that. Okay. I'm sorry.
What is that?
It's for the extra, the old ambulance. So we just got our new one. So we got one to sell.
He didn't happen to give you a price in your email, did he?
He did not, but he said, only thing he said was that the price that he had gotten or heard seemed very in line.
Okay, good. I didn't want him lowball you. So.
Oh, no, I don't control any of that, but.
Okay.
So what we might want to do is maybe approach us at the November 20th meeting.
Well, what I was thinking tonight, if they want this truck quick enough, this board approves it tonight, and they come next week and says, hey, we got the money to buy this truck, then I want to know if I get permission to go ahead and go to clerk treasurer's office, get the title, sign it over, and sell it to them.
Well, I'd like to have confirmation in writing that they are a nonprofit before we would just up and do that, because if for some reason they were mistaken and they aren't, then we're going through this whole exercise for nothing.
But if we furnish all that at the time of the sale through the clerk treasurer's office, would that work? Or do we have to wait another meeting?
Well, I personally would like to see it done through this board, not just at the clerk treasurer's. Just so we got record of everything, and I don't know how these guys feel. What it is we bought the new ambulance and we got the old one. We got somebody that's interested, another entity. It's a nonprofit, according to what they've told us. We haven't gotten anything in writing yet, but we're able to, from what I understand, we're able to sell to another entity like that, as long as they're not for-profit, without going through an advertising, advertising.
Could we put something together where, say, yourself and Dell and him get together, and if we go ahead and approve the sale before losing the sale?
Well, we're not going to lose it. In fact, there's people out there probably will want this.
Okay.
It's just they knew we were going to get rid of one, they need one, and I'd like to provide it for them because they're in need of it.
Right.
But I mean, I'd like to have everything.
We can bring it back November 20th. If they're really interested in it, they can wait another 2 weeks.
Well.
No, we can do that.
And I can reach out to him tomorrow as well, because he reached out to me. How, you guys okay with that? I mean,
I'm real good with it, helping somebody, but the only problem I got with it, what if there's somebody else out there that needs it just as bad? I would feel better if we ran a little ad. I don't care about the money.
Oh,
I don't want to get in trouble.
we ain't giving it away for $1.
And that's a good, fair point. But let's say they want to give $5,000 for it. I don't know what it's worth. Maybe somebody in need's willing to give. I just don't want to not offer it to everybody. If you're going to do it, because it can be, well, you guys knew him. And as of right now, I don't even know who we're talking about.
Well, they're another rescue squad, so it's
Yeah.
not like we're selling it to our buddy down the street, you know what I'm saying? But
This is Ripley
but I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm just saying, I mean, this is a little bit different than.
I will resort to Dale and count on him for the advice, because to be honest with you, everything else we do, we can't do that.
Well, and the example I would use is last year we gave a fire truck to Sparta Township. I think that's right, Chief. We were able to Hogan Township. So they have a volunteer fire department. You know, they don't have a budget, and we were able to, just by doing a resolution, because they're another first responder entity, we were able to just give it to them, and that is how the statute's written.
So we can do that again.
Yes, sir. Of course. That's the example I would use.
But we can sell it to them, not give it to them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so.
Okay. And it's just a matter, Bobby, I think, they knew that we were getting a new one, and they were in need of one. That's why they contacted Bobby that early on that, and but, you know, but I still want to, Paul, I want verification on the nonprofit, and they're going to have to come up with some kind of a purchase agreement and what they're willing to pay, and then I think they need to approach us, and then we can vote on it. Yes, sir?
Loaned it to them and it's all finished before, you know, sale or whatever you're gonna do. Advertise it, you could loan it to them, still then.
As long as Dale's okay with it, I'll drop my advertisement. I would like to go through the resolution or whatever we need to do, so that we've got all our paperwork in line in case somebody questions us. That's all.
Okay, and I'll get with Bobby and make sure that's all taken care of. No problem.
So then you can contact him tomorrow and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I'll see where they're standing. I mean, you know.
I mean, do they need it tomorrow?
Oh, no.
I mean, is it that kind of a situation?
No.
Okay. So, I mean, you know.
This is Rescue 69 out of Ripley.
Right, I just want to make sure we got all our paperwork in
yeah.
line, and I think that's what Paul was referring to, but.
And I'll follow up with them. Like I say, they might say, hey, next week they might change their mind. Then we'll have to go to different avenues.
And then we'll put it out for bid,
Yeah.
you know. Okay. Thanks, Bobby.
I still have more.
Oh, you got more, you're up, man. You go ahead. He's spending money tonight.
Yeah, next thing is, I'm requesting to spend $130,000 by the end of the year. And the reason I'm requesting that kind of money is, first thing is the Life Pack 15 heart monitors. We have the Philips that's on board now, and of course, they're actually going out of business. And the parts is, they are not making parts for the Philips MRXs. And if you can get them fixed, lucky to get parts to fix them. We do have one that actually went down on us.
Okay.
And we would like to purchase the Life Pack 15s, Physio Control. And they're actually going to give us $4,000 trade-in. Plus they're knocking stuff off of this. And with the trade-in, they're going to sell us these for $27,942 each, which is a very good deal.
And how many are you wanting?
We're going to get three on each truck.
Right.
That's for that part. And the next one would be the Lucas 3 chest compression system. These here are actually 13,000 something
Okay.
each. We like to get one per truck. We have this on board now. We're doing a 2-month trial period with it. And we actually used it last night or early this morning, and we used it I think, end of last week, which actually we had a save with this device.
Okay.
It shorts up a person in the back by doing chest compressions. We don't have to get out of breath because this thing's doing it for us, which is a neat tool to have in the back of our unit.
So in combination with what you're buying here, these two different machines for each vehicle,
Right.
100 and, how much?
130,000 what I'm looking at total,
Okay.
not to go over that.
Okay, not to exceed?
Yeah, with, for somebody to buy heart monitor mounts, which is about $550 a piece for these monitors. So,
right.
that's included.
I'm all about saving lives, but, what do you guys think? Any
I'm
questions?
gonna ask the question that I always heard other people ask.
Where did we get it from?
Do you got it in your budget?
Yes, he
Yes, I
does.
do.
Okay.
He does.
Work.
He brought that up. He knows to have that answer.
Now, Brittany's gonna shave it.
Technically, he has to do an additional
Right.
appropriation, but he has the funds
He's got the
available.
fund, he just doesn't have it in his budget.
It just ain't locked. It's locked, but it ain't locked.
I'd like to make a motion to let Bobby pursue this interest.
All right, motion on the floor is to purchase 3 of the Life Pack 15s and 3 of the Lucas 3 chest compression systems. Is that correct, Bobby?
That is correct.
And for a total of not to exceed $130,000. Can I get a second?
And Mayor, and not, I think part of this 130,000 is the 2 heart starts coming out of that fund.
I will mention that. He also bought 2 AEDs. We had one that was from the pool that needed to be replaced.
Right.
And we have one that we bought for Pee Wee football. Because they had been needing one. They've been borrowing ours every spring, and most of the times they were practicing without one, and they really need one. And in fact, I thought Garrett Kavanaugh was going to be here.
He just sent a text that his wife threw her back out. He'll be here in 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. So anyway,
Anyway,
we're gonna present that to him in council. So that did include the 2 AEDs as well, guys, that money, so. Okay, the motion's on the floor, we get a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Bobby?
Yeah.
You spent enough.
I don't like spending that,
All
but
right, new business, we're gonna spend more. Donnie Combs.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight, I would just like to ask the board to start the process of purchasing 2 vehicles for next year, 2018. I'll have 2 police commissions that will be on its last leg, and I have this in my capital projects money. So I just want to ask permission tonight to start the process of doing this. It's going to take that long in order for them to get ordered and get in.
A little background on that, what we talked about during budget with the police department, and also about their capital projects, capital improvement plan, was that they identified they're probably going to need, 10 vehicles in the next 5 years, I think is what was communicated. So the idea is to try to purchase 2 vehicles per year to try and get them through based upon mileage and everything else.
Yeah, with that I have the monies in there to get the equipment for that.
Right.
So
Right. Okay, so you just want permission to start the process for purchasing these 2 vehicles that are in the 2018 budget?
yes, that would be going down to the dealership and start
Okay.
getting it ordered.
Okay,
And then that would come out to 2018.
okay. Any questions?
Yeah, just one quick minute, and is this, will this be something that will be like a rolling, like every 2, or every year, 2 vehicles, and then like at the end of 10 years or something, it just keeps rolling? Okay, all right.
Based upon mileage and...
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, any other questions? Can I get a motion then to allow Chief Combs to pursue the process of ordering these 2 new vehicles?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion will carry. Any other new business? I don't have any for Board of Works. If not, any old business?
I got a couple things.
All right.
I'm not sure, they can be settled here, but what I'm hoping is we can pass it on to council and then, take it to where it needs to go. Questions on dredging. I know that we're coming up on the end of the dredging project, and I know that we had them go and sound, I believe, the waterway there, and I also know that I'm not going to call it a problem, but I think there's been some thinking between the two ramps that I would like to pass on or give Mario the opportunity to get some unit prices and then come to us with this presentation on the rest of it. And I don't know if that's council business, if it's Board of Works, or what we need to do.
Your Honor, it would probably be this board to amend that contract with the contractor.
Would it be just then handled through a change order?
Correct.
Okay. So we could just amend the current contract with utter construction on the dredging?
Correct.
Okay, to include...
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is I don't want them to get away and get mobilization charges.
To come back.
So I'm hoping we can give them the go-ahead on something to, if we can come up with a reasonable price.
Well, then I think, I think Mario mentioned, we'll handle it in the form of an amendment
Okay.
to the current contract. So if you want to form that in the form of a motion, or?
I'd like to make a motion that we let our staff pursue an amendment to the current contract of the dredging process at the boat ramps at Ratliff Landing.
Okay. All right. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? That motion will carry. Okay. What's the second thing you got there?
Second thing I got, I think is going to need to go to redevelopment, but I think I need to bring it up here. We're doing the demo work over on Short and High.
Yes.
And I passed out some photos. Things are going good. They're bringing the buildings down. When you look at it, if you look at the Carpenter's Hall, there's an addition that was put on that Carpenter's Hall probably in the early 60s, late 50s. That is not on the historical map. That part of the building isn't. The other part of the Carpenter's Hall is.
Right.
What I would like for the Board of Works, Council, and Redevelopment to consider is, I personally would like them to think about demoing the addition and the addition only on the Carpenter's Hall. My reasoning being is if we're going to get a developer in there and he's going to put a building in, that particular little spot of the building doesn't have a whole lot of character to it, and it might be an obstacle that is going to cause a problem. Right now we got a guy in there demoing, and I can't imagine why we wouldn't get our best price right now. Now, the other thing that I would like to bring up, because I don't want these pieces of metal to get away, their history. On the front of Jimmy Thomas's old building, there's some cast iron columns. They're throughout town. They're usually 1850s, 1880s. They're Evansville Ironworks usually. And I would also like Mario to negotiate getting those. I don't want them leaving. I don't want them going to a scrap yard.
And correct me if I'm wrong, they would be property of the construction company? That we have to purchase them back?
I think so, unless we can dangle a carrot in front of them on this demo. I want the best deal made here.
Okay.
Incorporate or negotiate those into that demo
change order. Can I be a part of that negotiation, please?
Yeah. I just think it's important. This town's had a lot of history taken out of it and took up to Cincinnati, years ago. And this is something that I think if a developer comes around and wants to develop that corner, we can ask him about the fire escape, the balcony, and these columns, and I think he can put it in.
Incorporate that. There was also, Mr. Messman made me aware, I guess, that there was underneath some of the, I don't know, the exterior siding of Jimmy Thomas's building, there was some architectural piece.
Those are the pieces I believe are.
How many pieces are there?
I think there's 5 columns total.
No, you're just talking about the columns. Okay, so that's what you were talking about too, Brian? Okay, I thought you were talking about a smaller piece. Okay, we're on the same page then. Okay. All right, so about 5 of them?
5 total.
So I guess, I mean, I'd like to pass this on with a favorable, I'd like to make that motion to
Redevelopment.
council, and then maybe, I don't know if I need to do it to council, or if I just need to make sure it's on the agenda for redevelopment.
Well, what if we did this? Hold on just a second, Tom. What if we did this, we negotiate with them a price, okay, and then I can present it to redevelopment?
Yep.
You guys in favor of that? I'm looking at redevelopment back there too, Randy. That way we'll have a price to put before you guys, and then you can determine if you want to approve that. But, okay, all right. So Mario, you and I, we'll start working on, is the owner over there every day? I know he's there today, but.
He's usually there once or twice a day.
Okay. Maybe we set up a time for him to come in
I'll get with yours.
tomorrow or Wednesday, whatever.
Okay.
This is the whole thing's the addition, everything.
Yes. This is the piece, this here, right here.
Okay.
This, right there. That height of building.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay, anything else? Mr. Seymour, okay. All right, no other old business, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion will carry, and a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second? All those in favor? Motion carries. All right, utility board, wait, no, we're going the other way. I skipped one. Parks and Playgrounds next, as soon as we're seated.
That's something we do need to talk about. They can still do that. Yeah.
The carpenters you're talking about?
Yeah, carpet.
I looked at that too, but you know, if you're gonna put up a building next to it, it'll probably take the view away. I mean, I don't know. I didn't want to tear it down.
Yep.
But then I figured it looked, after I looked at it,
Fire escapes.
you know, we'd talk about
Part of that.
whatever. All right, I'll call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Parks and Playgrounds meeting for November 6, 2017. Could I get a roll call, please?
Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Mel Davis.
Here.
Member Randy Abner.
Here.
Member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Owen Clausen.
Present.
President Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
All right. Any announcements? I've got one that it actually came up in one of my staff meetings, and there's mainly out of concern, I think, on from the safety aspect from probably the 3 gentlemen that are sitting over here to my left. In 2008, you know, we get a lot of 5Ks downtown. People out, we got the trail, you know, and works out really well. But there's an occasional time or so, or 3 or 4, that people want us to just shut off all the streets downtown, or a few streets, and do the 5K. But there's no rhyme or reason each time we do that, because it's a different route or whatever. I think, and I just want to put this out for discussion, and we can vote on it or whatever, but what I would like to put out there for discussion is, I think starting in 2018, all the 5Ks that are downtown need to be on the trail. Pretty much, period. Mario?
More information you want to add or put to that thought on the discussion is they actually use yellow marking paint for direction, which is our utility color for gas lines.
Oh. Okay. I didn't know that one. All right. And I'm just doing it mainly, I'm bringing this up because we talked about it a number of times, I think, in our staff meetings, but listen, you know, we enjoy the 5Ks downtown. It gets people down in the area, things like that. But I participated in quite a few of the 5Ks on the trail, and it serves the purpose quite well. Now, if it's a competitive race, maybe there's some stipulation that you couldn't do it there. I don't know. But I don't know of any of ours downtown currently that is competitive. And I could be corrected on that. But I'm just trying to make a suggestion to try and make it easier on these guys, you know, and we can communicate that starting in 2018 when people come and address us on them, if you guys so choose. And, but, you know, talk me out of it.
I don't want to talk you out of it. I think it's a good idea. We got a lot of man hours tied up in that stuff, bringing out all this. Not that I'm like you, hey, I want people doing it, but I also think that you got a really nice trail.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Okay.
I also agree, Your Honor. We do have a nice trail, but we need to keep our streets open so people can come down and shop. That's why these folks down here are open for business.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, if I can add to that a little bit, Mayor. This last one was last Saturday, and they did not, number one, they didn't have enough volunteers. I have 2 officers out there normally. I brought 1 reserve in to help do this and lead them. But they get so spread out, you can't keep up with it, for one thing. You can't put the barricades up fast enough in order to get the streets reopened. And there's cars, some of the runners had to get on the sidewalks, I believe, because there's cars would just go around the barricades, not watching out for the runners. There's a lot of safety concern. Now, I know in the past it brings out the awareness, whatever event they are doing, it brings it out because they're running through the streets. But I'm not sure how many people are out there watching this. You know, it's just a lot for us, for the fire and EMS. You know, I don't have enough personnel. I can't. I mean, there's how many 12 streets that were blocked.
Wow.
We're supposed to be blocked. I can't have 12 people out there, you know, to do this. And for the safety concern, I think is number one for the runners and everyone else.
Okay.
I just think it's viable to do this on the levee. I know there's other circumstances, other runs that we've talked about before, but you know, the traditional 5Ks that they want to run through town, I would recommend myself be on the levee.
Let me caution one thing though. The Lauren Hill 5K that actually runs up the hill and everything. Why anybody wants to do that, I don't know. But I mean, telling you, they may ask for an exception. They contact NDOT themselves and everything.
Now, they do a lot of hard work on that, and that would be an exception on that part.
But they're also asking, there's some talks that they may want to come and want to partner with the City of Lawrenceburg and then try to move part of the run would be finish or start downtown. So that's just hypothetical. I just heard that through the grapevine. But so that could possibly come ahead of us. So just saying, if we make this policy, rule, but I mean, they usually start theirs over at the high school and run it up US 50 to 48 and then down to Old 48 and things like that. And they'll continue to do that piece of it, I'm sure, but there was talk about starting or finishing downtown. So just want to make you aware of that.
You just want to do it tonight then, Mayor, and get it in the books?
Yeah.
I'll make the motion if you guys want to.
All right.
I'll second.
So the motion is to, in 2018, to have all 5Ks downtown?
Unless otherwise approved by the board.
Gotcha. Okay, second by Mel.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Do we call it a 5K or do we call it a walk and a run?
That's what they usually call them, walk runs, I think now.
I just didn't, if you're gonna put a mile on it.
Yeah, any walk run.
Any walk run.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. And I think how we'll handle it is as they approach us, we'll just tell them, or when they call to get on the agenda, is a time where I could have a conversation with them where Kelly Brookbank would. And then if they have concerns, they can certainly approach us when they come and ask permission. Okay? All right, any other announcements? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. New business, Mr. Garrett Kavanaugh.
Hi, I'm Garrett Kavanaugh, and I'm the president of the Lawrenceburg Football Organization, and I'll just come tonight to give a thanks out to our Parks Department for everything that they did this year. Our football field was immaculate. Like I said, everybody that comes to play there, it's by far and away the best Pee Wee facility around. It's better than most of the high schools we play on. This year, with the addition of a new scoreboard, we got it put up with the weather and everything. It didn't get put up to August, so we weren't able to utilize the advertising. A lot of people had already spent their advertising budget by August, so that's going to be taken care of come January, the beginning of the year. So next year, you guys will see plenty of advertising on the board. And like I said, it looks really good. We were able to, through some fundraising, we come up with money this year. I put new speakers up there. They really sound really sound good. That really helped. We also were able to purchase a cooler, a double door drink cooler, so to help out with the concessions, and then again, coming back with our fundraising. So everything was good. But like I said, we're just here to give our gratitude, because whatever it was, whenever it was, I mean, matter of fact, we had a water heater go out, bam, on the spot, it was fixed in a day. I mean, the guys, whatever it is we need, whenever we need it, we ask, and it's taken care of. So, like I said, the kids and the parents just can't thank the board and the city enough for all that they do for us up there.
Thanks, Garrett.
Thank you, Garrett.
Any questions or comments? Hey, Garrett, I'll just go ahead and mention this now, but I know you guys always borrow the AED, the pool, from the pool. Mr. EMS director over there, Mr. Mills, he went ahead and when they purchased one for the pool, we purchased an extra one for you guys for the Pee Wee football program. Because I think there's times I was told that you guys, even when you're practicing, you're supposed to have that. You're supposed to have it available, and there were times when maybe we didn't have it because the pool was still operating.
The pool's still going because.
So I think Mr. Mills has got one for you there, so you guys can.
Right.
Take care.
Well, like I said, we greatly appreciate it. Like I said, because Pee Wee, I mean, football just keeps getting earlier and earlier and earlier every year. I mean, we're handing out equipment beginning of July now. So practice is starting the end of July by the second week. of July, or 2 weeks prior to July being over. So we had the pool still in operation, so we didn't have it at some practices, but we did have them during the games and stuff. So, and like I said, we really, really appreciate it. And then the program's really going good this year. Lawrenceburg had the best winning percentage of all the schools in basically in the conference. So any of our conference schools, we finished with like a 732 winning percentage overall. So everything's going great. We really appreciate all that you guys do for us.
Thank you. Thanks for helping.
East Central
All
one.
right, any other new business? Any old business?
I got, I don't know if it's old business or not, Kelly.
Oh, go ahead.
We were talking about the walking trail.
Yep.
And one thing I was gonna bring up tonight, and I was hoping we could do some springtime stuff to the trail. Aurora brought back and coated all the asphalt all the way to their line. I noticed ours is starting to, we need to stay up on it, or else we're gonna end up replacing it. It'll be a bigger project. And if we're gonna encourage all these people to walk on it, something I've always thought about, and I don't know if there's anybody we could talk to, but we're starting to mow a lot of areas on the right-hand side and the left, and I was hoping that maybe we could get a wildflower mix or something like that and put in a few areas to maybe make that trail pretty good to look at. If I know a lot of the interstates and a lot of the states will take and do some things like that, the medians and off to the exits and things, and it doesn't take a whole lot of maintenance. It's just a slit seed and they come up.
Okay.
So if we could maybe get
You got some areas identified? I mean,
I think they're pretty easy to see. We've been kind of bush hogging or doing something on a few of the areas.
Okay.
Pretty nice.
All right, I don't think you have a problem with that. Anybody see any problems with doing something like that?
Nope. Could we add to that also, Paul, if you've noticed the bridge deck itself, we've got some temporary patching on it now. We've got to address that probably.
I figured, did you already have the wood ordered?
No, we do not. We do not. Matter of fact,
something like that, I figure regular maintenance, just, I'll never complain about it. What is it, oak or?
It's oak timbers on there, but I guess it would be the Parks Board to find out if you want to keep that as a final dressing or final covering, if you want to go to something else.
I mean, my recommendation, it looks like there's 5 or 6 timbers that probably went rotten.
There's about a dozen that need replaced on the structure.
I'd like to stay with what it is, but I can tell you one thing I would like to do. I see no reason. We need to start waterproofing some things. So possibly change those timbers out, and when it's nice and hot this spring, put summer help on doing a water seal on that.
We can do that. Probably needs pressure wash and clean.
Yeah, just pressure wash it, clean it, spray it down, and get as much out of it as we can.
When's the best time to put wildflowers out?
We've got a honeysuckle problem there on the trail itself. I don't know if you want to keep that part of your wildflowers or not, but it's on the canopy part. Matter of fact, I think Aaron had brought it up here 2 years ago. Yeah. And we had some folks in there that had a program, but we never did go forward with it.
And I don't, somebody could sure, you're pretty
Find
good
out.
with McCabe down there. You've had him do some work on Walnut. He'd be a guy you could ask some questions to.
Yep, no problem. All right. Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, Mayor, I got one thing. I had a couple of people corner me about the entrance to the park on Ludlow Hill.
Yes.
Some of the brush that we got that hangs over. I know some of it's going to try to be cut back between the house and the driveway.
Uh-huh.
And got a couple of people back got hit, they say, crossing the road there. Could we have some of that maybe cut back or adjusted in some way?
That's a good point, and I'll just bring it up at this point. We've got a few places throughout the city that are completely overgrown as far as the, I'm anal about grass and things, and, I mean, Messmore knows this, but there's some other places that we have overgrown shrubbery and such that I'm going to have McCabe take a look at, or somebody in town here, because we generally haven't been spending a lot of money on the landscaping. We've been doing a lot of it ourselves. So we'll bring it, that place was part of it, though.
And also, have we ever thought about the house that sits basically right in the front of the park? You know, maybe we need to look at that in the future to maybe acquire that and absorb that into that park. Because right there at that entryway, we got rental property right there. And it just would look much better if we had that swallowed up. But that's down in the future. We need to look at that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else under old business? Entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Utility Board. Let's call the November 6, 2017 Utility Board meeting to order. I'd like to get a roll call, please.
Member Anthony Abbott.
Here.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Mel Davis.
Here.
Member Randy Abner.
Here.
Member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
President Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
All right. Any announcements?
I have some announcements, but I'd like to cover them under committee reports.
All righty. I want to make one announcement, but I don't want people to think that that we're instituting anything or a fee or anything like that. But I just want people up here and the people out there to be aware of what is eventually going to be coming. Is a they're going to require us to I don't know how you say it, formalize our stormwater efforts. And when that happens, it's going to be a fee, okay? I'm not saying it's happening today or tomorrow. I'm just preparing people because we're running into an extreme amount of stormwater issues within the city, an extreme amount. And eventually, from what I'm told, and Olin maybe I'll shed more light on this, but from what I'm told, that eventually we're going to be required to, I don't think formalize is the right word, but utilities, I don't know what you call it.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
we already have a stormwater utility formed. That was formed in '03.
I'm talking about a fee.
The fees were not set up, but the utility was.
Right, but I think we're going to be required, though, I don't think we were ever required to have that water utility set up. But if anybody ever hears any of this on the news or anything like that, some other municipalities have it. We certainly don't, and I'm not proposing that we get it. But I'm just saying that if we get, at some point, required to do it, because, I mean, we have an extreme amount of stormwater issues. So that's all I'll say. I just wanted to bring it up because I know it's getting talked about in other areas, and I didn't want people to be surprised. So I don't have any other announcements, but, so I'll approve the minutes of the previous meeting with a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. Committee reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. On that subject, we had quite a bit of rain last night, so everybody's aware. We had several call-outs to deal with heavy flows of storm water, which inundated our sanitary sewer system. So Elizabeth Drive lift station, we had a pump that kicked out due to overload. pump number 1 wouldn't reliably operate. We got pump 2 running. We assumed, the guys are looking into it, that we might have a rag or a towel or some piece of trash stuck in pump 1. They believe that pump 2 might have a short to ground or had a short to ground, so they're looking into that, and there's going to be some remediation on both of those that are going to be required. I can provide an update on that at a later date. 48 and 50 lift stations, pump 1 seal failure alarm. After the alarm, pump 1 was turned on to avoid damage to pump 2. Pump 2 was keeping up with the flow. Crew's going to remove pump 1, get it disassembled so they can get the seal fixed and get it back in. 48 and 50 also later that night, pump 2 had an over temp alarm. It shut pump 2 off and we switched back to pump 1 in order to continue pumping the storm waters. And Andy put a note in here, says unfortunately both pumps are made very poorly. That's testing out their electrical circuits to see what the qualities of their insulation factors are on the windings of the motor. So they're working through those. This potentially could be a major problem. It's obviously something that we would move to the top of the list in terms of importance, so that we can avoid having any additional issues with it. But it's something that we're aware of. We're working to mitigate. Meyer lift station, pump number 1 couldn't keep up with the excessive flows. Pump 2's been out of service for some time. The crews have got the bypass up there and have had the bypass up there for some time for just this occasion. So we are aware of those issues, and we were set up to help deal with those. I do want to remind you, all these instances that I'm going to read out, we didn't have any to date no one has called to say that they had any kind of backup in their home or anything like that. So we successfully got through all of this without it imposing a problem on our residents. We currently have a pump out at the PSC&G lift station. It is being rebuilt, and we're waiting for it so we can put it back in service. We also had a seal failure alarm at the George Street lift station. So we had an incredible amount of storm water last night that we were dealing with, that just extraordinary amounts of storm water. And unfortunately, it's during those times that you find these issues with your system. But we are aware of them. We're working through them to continue to provide safe, reliable services to the residents. The stormwater sewer you're talking about, that's the MS4 requirements.
Yes.
And I will say that it is coming. The state will at some point require us to not just form one because we think it's a good idea, but to have one that's registered with the state. Typically, they're going to want that stormwater utility. Communities are free to do whatever they want, but typically that's going to be a rate-based service, so they'll look at trying to recover the costs for maintaining, operating, and replacing that infrastructure through rates. A lot of communities are going through this right now. I think the city's done a pretty good job to make some changes in the way that we deal with that stormwater, so that we are better prepared to handle that if and when it does become a requirement of the state. So the citizens should take comfort in that we've done some things kind of preemptively to ease that financial burden. Switching gears, we've had an incident, Mario, you can chime in on this. For some time now, we've had some spills show up on the sanitary sewer over at Queen City Candy. Those spills are making their way to the ditch line that sits between Queen City Candy and our fairgrounds. I've been tracking a long email thread between Steve Linkmeyer and Randy and Bill Mayer at South Dearborn Regional Sewer District.
Steve Lampert.
Sorry, Steve Lampert, thank you. And it appears as though Queen City is, I would say they're definitely unresponsive in certain terms. And in some ways, they are trying to sidestep the fact that this is directly due to something going on with their facility. Steve Lampert is suggesting that we ramp up our intensity in dealing with them to get this taken care of, and I have to agree with him. It's something that shouldn't be occurring. It's something that is having in a place that our public is exposed to. We have a lot of all kinds of people from the community over, young people, old people, and it's unsightly. So I just want to make the board aware of that at some point in the future, we're going to have to try to work through these issues in support of Greendale and South Dearborn Regional Sewer District, and hopefully cooperatively with Queen City Candy. I'd be happy to talk with any of you about this anytime in our office. If you got specific questions, we can get more into the nuts and bolts of what's going on. On a more positive note, Lawrenceburg Municipal Utilities, through work that's been doing with IMPA, and I do want to point out that most of the communities across the state of Indiana, through the hard work of IMPA and through the work of the individual utilities in taking measures to reduce their coincident peak demands, are going to be the benefactors of a rate reduction. Lawrenceburg happens to be the recipient of the largest percentage of rate reduction of all the utilities that are receiving them. And so, effective January 1st, we will be reducing our electrical rates by 6.26%. So that should come as a pleasant bit of news to all of our businesses and all of our residents, and it's directly related to the hard work that the guys have been putting into the system here, and also to the hard work and the dedication of the staff at IMPA. So I applaud both of them for making this kind of a reduction possible. I'll have copies of the press release if anybody would like to see that, if they'd like to take that with them. This will be made available to the local paper as well. But I just want to point out a rate reduction to this level in today's world is unheard of. I happened to catch a bit of news the other night dealing with one of Duke's rate increases that was proposed, 288% increase in the customer service charge. But don't worry, because they've got other reductions that'll basically make it about the same cost for energy. But the point is, and I'm being facetious there, the point is, while everybody's raising rates and raising them in double digits, we're doing everything we can to reduce rates and do that on behalf of the customers. So it's something that we're very tuned into. As the manager, we want to set rates at what we think is a reasonable rate of recovery, meaning that it's enough to take care of our responsibilities, to maintain the system, to replace things when they break or when they need fixed, and to not overcollect from the customers. It's just as bad to overcollect as it is to undercollect. So there's a fine line that we try to walk, and we're working to achieve that. That concludes my announcements, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to let you keep going. New business. Funding of the data center project.
Okay, so unlike the fiber project that we brought before council, the utilities have been planning this for some time, and I'm happy to announce that through that hard work, we're able to fund the fiber project, or I'm sorry, the data center portion of the project through utilities. So what we're proposing tonight is that the utilities loan, currently the amount is $789,269 and change. A little bit of back history, we have met with State Board of Accounts to find out if, number one, we can do this, if this is kosher. They agreed that it is. They'll give us some guidelines that we need to adhere to when loaning money from the electric utility to the data center. And I'd be happy to get into the details of those, but it's through Indiana Code 8-1.5-3-11F. It provides a provision in there for electrical utilities to do exactly this. So it's not an uncommon thing for electrical utilities to do this. I'm proposing that we loan this amount, and I'll have more definite numbers. The problem with giving exact numbers tonight is that some of the invoicing for the engineering that was done in the project won't be in for another 30 days or so. So what I can call them and kind of get good numbers from them what it'll be, we won't be invoiced for that until those numbers come in. So, but what I'm proposing is that I'm seeking approval to loan the money to the fiber utility for a period of 5 years at 4% interest. That'll be recovered back through rates and through the sale of the product of the data that will go hand in hand, part and parcel with our fiber optics utility.
Okay. All right, you want this in the form of a motion, I'm assuming?
I would appreciate it, yes.
Okay, any questions regarding the funding of this data center? What's happening is that the funding is not, they're not asking for funding from the city.
That's correct.
They're just going to ask it from, they're taking it, they've got money in the electric utility to loan to the fiber based upon the revenue that's going to produce.
That's correct. And this is in the spirit of some of the things that were addressed here tonight, meaning, us being a self-sustaining business, trying to get away from recurring costs without recurring revenue streams, and to demonstrate to the citizens of Lawrenceburg that we are doing things within the utility that are forward-looking, that we are going to great lengths to plan ahead and to do things on behalf of the customers that will benefit them, and that we're not a burden on the city and on Riverboat, and that we're self-sustaining.
Okay. Any questions? I'm sorry?
With the money that we invest, what would you say our average interest rate or yield would be? Are we approaching 4% on anything?
Probably not. Probably not. And maybe now's not the time to talk about this, but maybe it is. We've been, we had talked about, I'm going back probably 10 months ago about, and we've spoken with Clerk Treasurer about this, Tyler, about getting somebody to help us with the investment side, because I feel like that we could be doing better on our rates. So we're looking at that right now. So we're gonna, I don't want to get into those weeds right now, but to answer your question, Paul, no, we don't get anything at that.
And you've put a lot of thought in this, obviously. Is there a benefit? I know there would be a benefit to the utility of making a 4% on the money, but is it, if we're not making 4% and it's kind of like we're charging ourselves more than other people are giving us? So my question to you is can you explain to me why we wouldn't bring that back to, say, 2% or something?
Absolutely. Number one, it's important to understand that each one of the utilities are separate entities, and they are required to keep their invoicing and their costs separate. It is improper for me to take and cover one utility's costs with another utility's revenues. It's also important to understand that a lot of people that have been part of the electrical system for many, many years have helped create that value. And some of these customers that we're going to be serving with this fiber optics are new businesses that haven't been here, that haven't put in the time. And there will also be residents that are not within the city of Lawrenceburg city limits. These will be people out in the county and out in the other areas. And so I think that it makes a lot of sense for the electric utility, which is an entity owned by the city, to do right by those people who own it and do right by the monies that we are investing in that. And it's not an egregious amount. The VIC for that over the period of 5 years is roughly $31,500, so it's not a tremendous amount of money. But in comparison with what the money markets are bringing today, which are about 0.8 or less, it's a lot better than we're getting anywhere else. And right now, where the utility can afford it, I think that it makes a lot of sense.
Does it put a burden on the new one you're trying to create? Obviously not, because it's not that big of a...
No, it's, and 4%, I mean, it just isn't that much money. Okay. Monthly payments are roughly $13,680. Without interest, they're $13,154. So it's just not a lot of money, but it is at least acknowledging the fact that the electric utility, that it has shareholders, if you will, the citizens, and that we are thinking about those people and we are trying to do right with their utility and their public money.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the motion of the funding mechanism for the data center project that was brought forward by the utility director.
So move.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. All right, next item is notice of award and intent to proceed with the fiber optic loop and data center project.
Thank you, Your Honor. We had the bid openings a couple weeks ago. We went back and reviewed those submittals to make sure that they had indeed priced things accordingly and properly. And what we determined is that we had two people, one for the fiber project and one for the data center project, that had done everything that was required under the notice of award or under the bid documents. For the fiber optics portion of the project, TransTel from Norman, Oklahoma, they provided all the documents, everything was as it was supposed to be, all the bonding and so forth was as it was supposed to be. And so we were recommending that we proceed with award to TransTel from Norman, Oklahoma for the fiber optics piece of the project. If you'd like me to split these up, I can.
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Let's talk about the fiber optic loop. So this company, what name is it, Mr. Clausen?
TransTel.
TransTel?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and what was the amount?
The amount is $695,000.
Okay.
And that was the bid amount. There's some engineering costs and some things that will be in addition to that. I'm anticipating about $160,000 overrun on the project from what was given as an estimate early on. But we'll have all those numbers down to Brittany by Thursday this week.
Okay. All right. So we need a motion then. Any questions regarding that, guys? All right, so motion on, I'll entertain a motion then to approve the fiber optic loop award, project award to TransTel at the projected price, well, the current price at $695,000.
Moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry.
Thank you.
Next item is the data center project.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I'd like to offer up a motion, or get a motion for the data center funding of the project. This is for a company out of Cleves, Ohio, Safe Earth Building Company.
Safe what?
Safe Earth, S-E-Y-F-E-R-T-H.
Okay.
They have got several projects similar to this that they've done as part of their portfolio.
Okay.
We feel very confident, fortunate to have a company like this doing this kind of work for us. Total project amount, the bid price that they submitted was $638,500.
Man, you're spending money tonight. You're worse than Bobby. All right, I'll entertain, any questions, guys? Okay, I need a motion then to approve the data center project to company Safe Earth at a cost of $638,500.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You know, guys, we just approved a lot of money here, but I'm going to tell you, it is going to be something that is going to move Lawrenceburg technologically into something that I don't understand, but it's going to be really a progressive city. Okay, the next item, withdrawing from IMEA Safety and Training Program.
Thank you, Your Honor. We've been a member of IMEA for quite some time. Without getting too far in the weeds, the issue with the IMEA is that over time,
what the services that the organization provides to us have changed. Just like utilities have changed and the requirements for utilities have changed, there's been some changes with the IMEA that have not been very conducive to the utility space, to the utility business. Some of these issues existed before I came on board. Mel can speak to them if you'd like. In a nutshell, we spend about $16,000 a year with the IMEA for safety and training. And what we're getting out of that in return really is just a couple of conferences a year, and that's kind of about it. IMPA, our service provider, electrical service provider, they have stepped up and are going to now start providing the safety and training portions to utilities who want to participate in that. They'll do it through TVPPA, and they will do it at a much, much more discounted price. We currently participate in the first Wednesday of the month programs. The city goes up there for free. We take a lot of Civil City folks up there for free. I'm anticipating our cost to be, they have an earned amount, but around $2,000 a year, which is a much bigger savings than the $14,000. And quite frankly, some of the other issues that exist with the IMEA, and I'm a board member on the IMEA, and so it's kind of an odd thing for me to talk about it, but we have a fragmented effort when it comes to the lobbying initiatives and the messaging. When we go in and sit down with our elected officials to talk about issues that the utility is dealing with, a lot of times we find that they have us confused with the IMEA, and that the messaging is not correct, and that's unfortunate, and potentially it's very costly to us. There's been some things that have happened with the legislature going back 2 years, Senate Bill 312 or 309, and some other things that have occurred that have been harmful to the utilities. And so it is absolutely imperative that we avoid these fragmented efforts, that our messaging be the same messages that go forth. And IMPA and IMEA are just different organizations. IMEA spends several $100,000 a year in lobbying, and they have a very good handle on what happens at the State House. And obviously, they're a great partner to us. They make reductions in rates through the work that we do together that are real savings for the people in the community. And so I'm asking for a motion tonight to approve the withdrawal from LMU from IMEA and entering into the safety and training program with
Your Honor, I'd like to
IMPA.
say a couple of things if I could.
All right.
I was on the IMEA board twice and resigned both times because I didn't think they were progressive enough. I am very pleased that IMPA has stepped up with the safety program, because to be honest with everybody here, the only thing we got out of IMEA that was worthwhile was the safety program. That was it. So if IMPA provides a quality safety program, I'm all for it.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to withdraw from IMEA Safety and Training Program and enroll into the IMPA program.
Moved. Second.
Second by Aaron. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. All right, the next item, I believe we're going to table to the next meeting, correct?
Yeah, I'll just make a couple comments on it. Dwayne Richardson was supposed to be here tonight. The storms that we had were statewide. He was out throughout the entire night up in Crawfordsville helping to restore power there, and got a little bit of a cold because of it, and so he found himself in the hospital, called me and said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it down there. But what he's going to propose is that Lawrenceburg host Layman Rodeo here, just like we did not this summer, but summer before. We'll make it an annual event. We have spoken with both Crawfordsville, who has pledged to be a major supporter of the event, and with IMPA, who has also pledged to be a major financial supporter of the event. And so Dwayne's happy to come back at our next meeting and make a presentation on this and provide more information, answer questions.
Okay.
But I would like the motion to table.
I'll entertain a motion to table the Lyman Rodeo presentation.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. Any other new business?
No, Your Honor.
Up here? Any old business?
No, Your Honor.
I got one question. Now that we've kind of allowed things to move on this fiber optics, can you give us an idea on a schedule? What do you got targeted here?
The company out of Oklahoma has committed to a 90-day turnaround on the project. So that is the objective, that we have all of that plant installed within 90 days from the beginning of the project. I will be able to provide, and I think that they're going to want to get in and start here in the next couple of weeks, but I will provide an update on the exact time frame when they're starting. I'll need to reach out to Seaforth and let them know about tonight's motion to approve. I believe they're going to want to start within 10 days on the data center. Data center is anticipated to take 120 days to complete, fiber 90.
Will there be a pre-sale period, now that you know this is gonna happen? Will there be something that you'll be trying to round up customers
Yes.
for this 90 days, or is it something that we just need to sit back on?
No, it's not something we need to sit back on, and actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because what I really need to do, I really need to schedule a work session. I would like for that to happen sometime before December, but not towards the end of, give me the later part of November to do that. And I would like to have a few hours set aside so that we can get into all of the bits and pieces of the fiber utility of the data center, our plans to monetize that. I've been put a great deal of work into our business plan and how exactly that all is going to function. And so I would like to request a work session so that we can do that.
We will, when I say we, Carrie will look at the upcoming schedule and we'll get something scheduled.
Your Honor, I have one question also. Is Bell still in consideration to provide services to Lawrenceburg?
Lawrenceburg, we are keeping all options open to us, Mel. Cincinnati Bell is somebody who is very motivated to partner with us. We have also had other companies that have reached out to us that are major providers that would like to partner with us. The utility has some decisions to make. We have some decisions to make on what type of services we want to be responsible and what type of services we think we want to provide. Do we want to be just an ISP? Do we want to provide the content? We have some things to talk about. And so without kind of tipping our hand too much, because these negotiations, they're very serious. They deal with a lot of dollars. And my sole objective here is to maximize the return for the community. So I don't want to talk too much about it just yet.
In a roundabout way, he said maybe.
I got the answer.
I think he did. All right. Anything else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to carries. We'll open up the city council meeting for November 6, 2017 by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Get down to the nitty-gritty. All right, could I get a roll call, please?
Member Anthony Abbott.
Here.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Mel Davis.
Here.
Member Randy Abner.
Here.
Member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
Police Chief Don Combs.
Here.
Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills. City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
He stepped out. He spent too much money in his meeting.
Mayor Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
All right, announcements. Okay, I'll go through board reports then. Streets, alleys, and curbs, Mr. Aaron Cook. Yes, we got you. You're the next part of the announcements.
No report unless Tony has something. Well, I do have one thing. I've had I've had a request from one business owner for a stop sign on High Street, Bobo's Restaurant. He said they're just speeding down the street there. I don't.
There's not a stop sign there?
No.
No, it's not.
He's approached me about the same thing too, Mayor.
Not a speed bump, but a stop sign.
No.
I don't think we need a speed bump on High.
How you guys feel about stop sign?
I'll be honest with you, I agree with him in that spot.
All right.
And also, Paul, he wanted to know why you didn't stop by for the cod dinner.
I can buy a cod dinner anywhere in the county.
Okay.
I told him steak and lobster. You can tell him.
Marriott standards.
Marriott.
Yes.
Before we vote on this,
I'll send him a text as soon as we're done.
Go ahead, Mel.
Don't start him, Paul, please don't.
I'd like to ask the police chief his feeling on the stop sign at that location.
Bobo's mentioned that to me as well, just people are speeding, we monitor that area as well. If you want to put one there, it's
Slow traffic down.
fine.
I think he just wants people to stop in front of his place to look at his new patio.
Smell that cod.
Yeah, smell that cod. Good point. I mean, you okay? I mean, from your standpoint, I mean,
Yeah, and once it goes up, we'll monitor it.
Yeah.
You know, give verbal warnings.
we're gonna need to get a stop bar, all that, so. All right, well, I'll entertain, I'll do that in the form of a motion if somebody would make it, to put a stop sign at the corner of, High and,
Vine?
Vine. High and Vine. So moved. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir?
how soon would you like that? You gonna wait
I
till
don't
the
know.
next meeting for
Wednesday?
the ordinance to set that up, or resolution to set that up, so.
Did we have a resolution for the one over on St. Clair?
We didn't have to, because there used to be one there.
Okay.
Well, we do need to look at the changes that we're making, and Chief Combs and Mario both talked to me about that, so we do need to look.
Have I had the one on Walnut Street right there by the tracks? Hasn't had one.
Well, and we've also got old 48, and then we've got, our existing ordinance, so we've got to kind of look at that as we add to them. I mean,
Can we cover all of that in one ordinance, so we don't have to read that thing
well, as long
30
as
times?
Bobo didn't want any more stop signs.
Well, we're good after this one. All right. Okay.
I'll take care of
Thanks, guys. Anything else Aaron, on your piece?
No, that was it, Mayor.
All right. Finance, Mr. Abbott? Looks good. All right, Parks and Playgrounds, Mr. Seymour Jr.
I'm good.
And Fire, Randy Abner.
Okay, on Friday, October 27th, and Sunday, October 29th through the 29th, they had, the fire departments held their quarterly live burn, that was Greendale and Lawrenceburg together down at the training tower. And then also we had, they had our final fire prevention day with Janet Kanega's First Adventures preschool. And that was, when you just did that, didn't you?
Finished it up today.
Today?
Yep.
And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right. All right. All right, next part of announcements, I'd like to ask Dave and Kim Russo if they want to approach the podium. And I'll let you explain it, Dave.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Just want to stop in tonight. First of all, my name is Dave Rudisil, promoter of Lawrenceburg Speedway. We leased the Speedway from the city of Lawrenceburg. And just wanted to stop by and let the council know what we do on a regular basis at Lawrenceburg Speedway. Just a summary real quick. This year we hosted 5 community giving campaigns. We had 2 food drives, we had school supplies drive, food and toy drive, as well as a breast cancer awareness event. We continue to do these every season at the Speedway. Something else I wanted to mention, we also have every year, we do a Scout Night, Youth Sports Night, Servicemen and Women Night, Healthcare Night, and 2 Family Nights. And all the nights are free admission for one groups or discounted admission. This past past season, we had over 2,300 people take part in the 3 free 4-7 to 2-5 nights that the city sponsors. Just want to let you know that. We also made ticket donations to over 1,600 nonprofit organizations in the tri-state area and beyond, to which they use the vouchers for their own fundraising, as such as church festivals, relay teams, benefits, silent auctions, that kind of thing. So you all know we do a lot of fundraisers, and we continue to do them. So whenever you have people come in asking for donations, we offer that where they can sell tickets. It's a really good deal for them. They can raise a lot of money for their fundraisers, and we do a lot of that with a lot of different organizations throughout the tri-state, and it's been very, very well received.
Okay.
And we also do, going back to we donate to different charities, fundraisers. I'm sure a lot of you on the board, we donated tickets to you. This year we did over ticket value over $474,000 in ticket value to just donations requested throughout the area, which is a lot of tickets. And what's kind of cool about that is number of tickets you actually get back is usually a lot less percentage-wise, and we actually get 66. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Out of all them tickets we give out, 66% of those tickets are first-time visitors to the Speedway, so that's really good. Not only is it good for them, it's good for us that we're getting new people into the Speedway to check out the facilities and the races and hopefully get them back. In closing, I know it's been a long night already here, but I'll make this short, but we do have a check here that we'd like to donate to the donation committee in the form of $1,200 in help.
Great, thank you.
And thank you very much for all the city does for the Speedway. We're proud to give back. We're proud to be part of the community, and we like to give back as much as we can. And thank you, and we look forward to next year.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave. Kim, thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
One last thing, Mary, if I could, one last thing. She's a big part of all the donations and all the fundraisers and stuff, and she really gives a lot of time and effort to do that. So, I'm sitting up here talking about it, and she's the workhorse behind it all. And I gotta say thanks to my wife, Kimberly, herself, for that. We knew that, Dave.
That goes unsaid, huh? You didn't have to even say a word. Thank you.
I had to remind myself.
Thank you. Okay.
You better not forget.
Hey, yes.
Can I ask Mario to give Dave an update on the restroom in the back?
We're still in design.
Okay. We are, we're gonna move forward with it. So, I for one, was real pleased to hear you come in. I wish we had 10 more just like you. So, I do. I think we do a lot, and I think they've always done a lot, so I hope it stays this way.
I agree.
Yeah.
And Dave, I think the fencing is completed. I guess you're satisfied with it?
Yeah, looks very good. Very happy with the fence. More of a bigger concern we can talk about later is our dirt situation.
I got a lot of mud next door to me that just washed away last night. Use that. All right. Thanks, everybody. I got a couple things to add on the announcements. Just want to let everybody know that we're having a citywide auction, civil city and other departments, November 18th. Is that correct? At what, 10 o'clock? Is that correct?
It's 10, Brian. 10 o'clock.
I have that in my calendar. Okay, and that'll be held at the city garage. So, Civic Park meeting Thursday. If anybody's on the steering team, Secretary will get with us about we got an executive session we need to schedule and a utility board work session. And then the only other thing I want to bring up tonight that we didn't get to put on the announcements was, and I think I've talked to everybody, and I apologize if I didn't, couldn't remember. Hagford had a request. They've been using our parking, or using the fairgrounds for parking. Their employees are parking there as well, and then walking up, and they are requesting, and they submitted this to Mr. Clark. I think I've showed you guys with like a ramp to go down from their property to the fairgrounds. It'll just meet up to the current road, so it will not impede past the road or anything like that. One thing that I did talk to, I guess her last name's Miller now, isn't it, Cheryl? I talked to Mrs. Miller and told her that some concerns you guys had about parking during high event times, such as Speedway nights, such as Antique Market, such as the 4-H fair, or any other large, event we may have. I told her that part of the agreement, because we would have some agreement put in place, was they would have to move their vehicles at those times. I don't think that'll be a problem. I think we're happy to help anybody we can if we can. I just wanted to make sure and get it in the form of a motion that you guys are in approval in doing this going forward.
Is this gonna be a year-to-year or I don't wanna burden the next group. I mean, they're a big contributor to the community, and I'm having a problem telling them no.
I'd say we make it year to year, Paul, just so, we don't box somebody in who might be sitting up here in another 2 years or
Right.
6 years, whatever. So that's my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel down here, and you haven't said anything all night, Tony. You got to be prepared to say something.
Not feeling very well. I've been sick for 3 days.
Okay,
so
well, I'll leave you alone
give
tonight.
me a break.
I'll leave you alone then.
I'll make him breathe on me.
Really, I'm very thankful. So, I'm sorry.
I'm sure
Tony.
you are.
But anyway, I would like to get a motion to approve going forward.
Well, I'll make a motion that we proceed with that on a year-to-year basis.
Okay. All right, can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. I will let her know, and then she will be in contact with Mr. Clark, or her architect, or whatever you call him, engineer. Okay, I'm done with announcements. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting, which was October 16th.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. We have a second set of meeting minutes we need to approve. We had a budget adoption meeting on October 18th. I'd like to get a motion to approve those meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Committee reports, Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
All I have is everybody's got a copy of the packet that I went over on Board of Works. Just a little side note, the pictures on there is First Adventures pretty school from today, their last trip down there. I incorporated those.
All right.
And back page is our run totals for October.
All right. Thank you, sir. Police Chief Donnie Combs.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want the council to know that we are going to restart our Tom Cochran Memorial Scholarship Program again from the generous donation from the TOPS program that we received, the 4 schools, Lawrenceburg, EC, South Dearborn, and Rising Sun. So that is a very good thing to do for them, and they really appreciate that. We give each school $500 to a student.
Okay.
What they have to do is they write something that they're going to this law enforcement. They have to write something they get.
Okay.
As you know, know NDOT come down here, put the new stop signs or the stop lights up, the speed limit, so we're monitoring that. And one particular on the levee, like the school coming down the hill, at the top of the levee, it starts 30 right there now. We're going to monitor that. And then to update you on the parking garage, if I can.
Yes.
The letters that, we had given the letters out to 17 vehicles last week.
17?
17
Okay.
vehicles. So the rest, they're the ones that were continuously parked. So we'll give them 30 days.
Okay. All right.
That's all I have there.
Okay. EMS Director, Bobby Mills.
Council be aware of the Lucas 3 that we're going to purchase and our new heart monitors. If they got any questions?
Yeah, may save our life someday.
Hope so.
Yeah. Oh, no, I hope not.
No, it and $50.
Come on, Bobby.
Get out of that one.
Yeah.
That and taxes.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's all I have.
All right. All right, new business, myself, and I very quickly, I'll give you the synopsis of what happened. There's we own, the city limits is part of, Shady Lane Estates is part of the city limits off of Pribble Road. Everybody know what I'm talking about here? Where it goes down over the hill. It's the end of the city limit line. Right across the street is the county. There was a new home built there. And somehow, that new home built a new pond, and the new pond is on our property. Okay?
Do we get to fish in it?
To make it simple, it's on our property, and they also, there was a bunch of, some trees and shrubs torn down, and it makes, it's a little easier access for the people over on Shady Lane that may have kids or something, okay? And that's why I was approached about it from folks within the city limits. So anyway, I had Mr. Clark talk to the county about it, since they're located in the county, and I think he put in a synopsis of what the agreement would look like. We gave them an option of either they could purchase the property from us, but we will maintain our easement that we need, or they would have to move their pond. But in the and I think they came back and they would rather do the purchase. Now, obviously, you've seen what has to be done, you know, 2 appraisals, all that. That's on their dime. It's not coming out of us. They will agree to put back up these pine trees and such to deter, you know, young kids, whatever. So anyway, is there anything I'm missing that you know of?
No, I met with them last Wednesday, and they're very nice. They're apologetic. Apparently, they they use the fence line as the property line, and they made a mistake.
Okay.
You know, obviously, on the fence line. So we've got one of the appraisals back. The other one should be back soon, and I'll draft everything up if council wants to go that route, and we'll get it sold to them and keep the stormwater easement.
So, I mean, tonight I'm asking for a motion that my proposal is to go forward with the selling them the property, and that cleans it up, and I think both parties will be happy. All parties will be happy. So I would like to. Any questions for about that, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand. I mean, we can't just go into a deal with one person on a piece of our property, I don't think. I mean, I think unless you put it out there for everybody, I don't think we can do that even legally. The other thing I question is there's a lot of things you gotta do to put a pond in. You gotta get a hold of DNR, Corps of Engineers if you do any altering of any streams. I'm not so sure I want to sell a piece of property even if there's something wrong. Did they do the proper procedure on even putting this pond in?
I don't know, but they're in the county, so I didn't.
I'd like to know any of that, because there's a whole lot of things that you got to do if you're going to hold back a certain height on a dam. I mean, I've been through this. You got to answer to a lot of people. You just can't do this stuff. I think we might be, I don't want to sell a piece of property and then somebody question, well, what'd you sell them that for? They never even went about the right process on the pond.
Well, and I think that's why it's important. So Nicole Daly is the Dearborn County Planning and Zoning Administrator, and that's why it's important to have her involved. So the county is in agreement that this is the proper way to handle it. It's a joint county and city venture. Our part is very small. It's just selling this sliver. So the county would be in charge, like Mayor said, about making sure the pond was built properly and all those things. But as far as I know from talking to Mike, and Mike's not here today, I met with him Wednesday and made sure that I could speak for him. The county's on board, he's on board, and this is a way to fix this problem. It's not something we wanted to do, it's just making lemonade out of lemons, because they already built the pond.
Are we allowed to go into a deal with the homeowner?
Yes, I believe so. I think we'll have 2 appraisals, we'll sell it for the average of 2 appraisals. They've got other agreements here, which are replacing the trees, and we've got the county's approval. So it's not just a, traditional land sale, it's a way of resolving kind of a conflict or a dispute with this property, and we're keeping our stormwater easement.
Now, here's my next question. We're talking easement here. I'd like to have some advice from our Director of Utilities. Have you been up to look at this? How much property do we own? Can we afford to give up this? What's the harm if we keep this property? Nothing happens. There's a lot of ponds in the area that got a property line right down the middle of them. So I just don't know if we want to give an easement up, and I'm asking you if you've looked at it or.
I saw it on the agenda, asked Mike and Andy about it. No one had talked to me about it, so I haven't been up there to look at it. I was unaware of, I don't even know if we've got utilities in the area. I talked with Mike tonight to try to find out. He said that it's about, I think he said 10 or 12 yards from our power line. I don't know exactly. Mike wasn't exactly sure. I was out of the loop on this one, so I don't know much about it, Paul.
Before I make a decision, I just want some county answers, my utility director opinion. They made a mistake. I really don't care about them. What I care about is, and I really highly question our ability to deal with a private owner and just sell them something. I'm a little worried about that. I'd like a written legal opinion from Dale on that. We have never done that while I've been sitting in this room. I don't think anybody's ever just bought a piece of property off of us.
Paul, it'd be easy to advertise if you wanted to, because they're getting to appraisals anyway, so we could just run an ad for a week or 2.
Problem would be, yeah, Aaron, you're right, but the problem would be, what if someone else bought it?
That would be fair then. I mean, that's what we've always done, like Paul was saying. As sure as you don't, someone's going to say it's not fair.
But here's
Well, then they'd have to deal with them.
I ain't even sure I want to sell it. If this guy says that it's more valuable to us for an easement and we want to keep it, I'm just, I just would like those answers for sure, and then maybe brought back before us.
Let's do this then. We'll table it till November 20th.
Weren't the easements to stay in place?
Yeah, we keep the easement. Well, it's our property right now, so we would create an easement for ourselves before we would sell it to them. We would keep an easement.
Well, let's do this. Why don't we table it till November 20th? Owen goes up and takes a look at it. Dell gets us a written legal opinion, and we satisfy all parties.
There you go. Thank you.
Everybody okay with that? I entertain a motion to table Shady Lane Pond encroachment issue.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for the discussion. All right, hesitate to do this because she's very long-winded. Carrie Ketman, IT committee updates.
I have been instructed to keep it short, 5
Yes.
minutes or under. There should be something
in your packets that kind of outlines what we've been working on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just go through kind of how we came about, what we've got accomplished so far, and an idea of where we're going with each project. Originally, we were just set out to receive and review the original IT service component for the city, that bidding process, but once we got into that, there were several layers of projects throughout the city, I guess is the fairest way to put it, that were brought to our attention that we felt we should do due diligence to look at each one and make recommendations on those. The committee is comprised of a pretty decent cross-section of the city. Myself, I chair the committee, and then we've got Utilities Director Olin Clausen, Assistant Police Chief David Schneider. We've got the Deputy Clerk, Suzanne Warndorf, Deputy Fire Chief Pat Myers, as well as Jenny Felix, who is with Human Resources. So between all of us, we all kind of have different interests throughout the city that add to the discussion and the decision-making process within the committee. So I think the first thing that came up through reviewing the IT service bid was how woefully lacking our infrastructure was, which has been, the planning piece has been resolved, as Olin mentioned earlier, through the data center process. We're able to make some recommendations to kind of move what's existing in the City Hall basement over to that data center and have a more concentrated effort, like a home base for all of those things. So infrastructure was first, and that was unexpected to have to deal with through that IT service process. And then phone system came into play along with speaker system, I think, because we have several different, or we had several different contracts throughout the city with Comcast or CenturyLink that they weren't really uniform. So we were trying to audit and assess what would be best for the city through that process, and we're trying to really nail down a more uniform approach. David Schneider has actually taken the lead on a lot of the security piece. So he's here tonight if you guys would have specific questions for him on what that looks like. I know when we started that we got bids and through professional services, I believe Indicom was selected. They have done most of the work that they can do, which is, I think we're about 52%, but backing up, I think when we took it over, what were we at, like 20% working cameras across the city, so it was very, very deficient. We've been able to repurpose some of those cameras where we can to kind of get by, but we sit tonight at about 52%. We can go up to about 60% prior to again, how all these things join together, the fiber loop completion, which Olin spoke about earlier as far as getting that bid out, or bid decided. Once the fiber loop is completed, that will give us the ability to go then from the 60% to 100% completion with security cameras. Decision has been made to have the police department be the hub for that. I think Assistant Chief Schneider has been working on, with Indicom and Jeff Bittner, a way for their clerks to be trained on that so that they understand the system and they're the home base for that. So a lot of unification of city departments has happened through this process, and that is a positive. Another thing that we're in the middle of that we expect to be completed in December is our key fob. Our current process is the key fobs for the doors. If any of you are familiar with the county, they have actual identification badges that you swipe and you use for access with the doors, but we're taking it a step further, and and again, you can speak to this more specifically. But you're going to be able to timestamp entry and exit into buildings. You're going to be able to have some contractor badges where you're going to be able to input exactly the time frame when contractors are in and out of your buildings for specific projects, rather than what we have had, which is less accountability through all the fobs that are kind of out there currently. So that's in the works, and that's a projected completion of 2017, or of December 2017. And then something that we just started, mainly, again, Assistant Chief Schneider with the help of Mike Abden. We're looking at H&B to try to overhaul that. There's several panic buttons and different things through the city that we've realized have not been serviced. You know, whether that is on the city side or the company side, you know, we go back and forth with that, but the bottom line is that we want it taken care of, so that we're moving towards recommendations with that getting overhauled and in place, so that our buildings are more secure. And Mike Abden really helps out with, you know, what the standards are and where we need to be versus where we are, and then that involves, you know, the fire department with the fire alarms. So there's just lots of moving parts as we got through this. I can tell you this, at the beginning of the IT committee, I don't think anybody involved on that committee understood all that would eventually fall within the umbrella, but we have a very good, hardworking group in there looking at every angle so that we can give the best recommendations we can to council and to the mayor to move forward. And some of these initial investments are really designed to kind of clean up what we inherited, because we inherited a mess, essentially. So even the way things are wired, and cleaning all of that up through the process has been interesting to look at and review. But again, we want more unification. We're cleaning it up, and we are collectively trying to make the best recommendations that we can for the city. So hopefully that was under 5 minutes. And you know, I think both Olin Clausen and David Schneider really have been the go-to for some of the bigger projects, while Pat Myers, Suzanne, and Jenny come into play with some of the underlying either confidentiality piece, policy and procedure piece that need to support the decisions that are being made. So there's a good balance within the committee to make sure that all of that is looked at and reviewed.
Well, you were under 5, but then you just went back over.
I had one more thing to say. That was it.
You tried.
When you timed, you didn't look over, see?
Were you keeping it for?
Gonna be like a producer.
So does that mean there's no time for questions?
I could say a lot of things, but I'll let council, if they got any questions, say it. Just, I think she said it best. We cleaned up a lot of things with that group in a very short amount of time. And it's going to be better for the city and for the future of the city, even after us, going forward. So, and safer. So, any questions, guys? I just wanted them to give an update.
Is there any way we can get a panic button up here when certain people take the podium?
Shock them?
Yeah.
Like me? Right, okay, I get you.
Or drops out.
All right, thanks, Carrie, and everybody involved with the IT committee. Garrett, we already told you about the AED, so please pick that up on the way out. And then Donnie Combs, this is came from Board of Works. You guys heard about it, about the vehicle purchase request. I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you, Mayor. Just ask the council tonight approval so I can get started to go ahead to go to the dealership to purchase the 2 cars that we need for 2018. Get that process going so they'll get here. So I can get them on the road.
Questions, guys?
Yes, sir.
Will they be the SUVs with the cage in the back?
Yes, sir.
He likes the cage.
I do like the cage. It's a lot safer for the officers, it's a lot safer for their customers.
Yes.
How's it feel being in that cage, Suzanne? Any other questions? Good. Oh my gosh. I never heard it called
Into the new business.
But they are.
All right, I'll entertain a motion then to move forward with the vehicle purchase request for the LPD.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. I don't have any other new business. Anybody up here have any new business?
We have a lady in the audience here. She's been waiting. She didn't get on the agenda. If you would like to listen to her. There was 3 of them, but I think the other 2.
I spoke with her, and I know exactly where, and she said that she would be willing to meet with me and get on the next agenda so they could present the whole thing.
Okay.
You okay with that?
I'm fine.
Are you okay with that still?
I don't know if I'll be able to do that meeting.
Well, we can get you whenever, but whatever's convenient for you.
And if you talk to him, one of us can bring it up, what you guys talked about, even without you being here. So once you meet with him and give him all your information, and I know you have to sign the sheets, I have some too, maybe you have them hold for you, and I can bring all of them for you as well. If you just give them to me, I'll bring them for you.
Our next meeting, though, is November 20, but you and I are going to talk next week, right? Okay. Okay. You okay with that, Tony?
I'm fine.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anything else on new business, guys? Any old business? Well, then I'll entertain some comments from the audience. Oh, boy. I'm just kidding. Panic button. Panic button. Aaron's hitting his panic button.
Yeah, it's under his seat.
Yes, sir.
I had a question with regard to removing part of the bank union hall.
Okay.
Is there a I-beam across that otherwise half of that building will fall? That's one question. And the second question is, how are you going to secure that opening? Because
big opening.
Who knows when somebody will want to do something. I'm not against it. I completely agree with that.
Well, wouldn't we, I'm just going to take a real big shot here. If we determine that it can come down and there's an I-beam or whatever, I would assume that we would want to make that building whole and do it right, break it up or whatever. I mean, am I looking the wrong way?
That's actually the front doors to that building. Is there another door in the?
Well, there was the
There
front
used
door.
to be.
There used to be where the center window is.
Arch window is? Well, you see what I want there, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, dining on the roof.
So I think the answer to your question, Tom, is we will be taking care of mitigating that hole and do it. I don't think we do it. We'll do it securely and do it right.
Okay, then the second item I have is the river is rising.
You getting the boat out?
Yes.
All right.
We're scheduling to get it out. It'll be up to the owner, and we'll take the boat out either Thursday night or Friday morning.
When?
Because
This week?
because the river will be at 37, 38 feet, and we can get it out.
Good deal. Thank you for that update. That's a good one.
And then we gotta take the gangways down.
Yeah, then the real work starts. Anybody else in the audience? If not, we got any advance payments? We do, don't we? Ice rinks to go, we have an advance payment. We need approval we need a motion to approve that advance payment that was made to Ice Rinks to Go for the ice rink for the Winter Wonderlands.
So it'll go.
Your motion? So moved. Second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I got one separate claim that didn't make it to your packet that it was for had a furnace replacement over at the Edenburg, and it didn't make it to the packet in time, but it's Seymour Heating and Cooling, not this Seymour, for $1,750. I'd like to get a motion to approve that tonight so he could get paid.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion will carry. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
Can I just clarify?
Oops, I'm
that
sorry.
check can be released right away, right?
You guys okay with the check being released right away?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it. I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. A motion to adjourn.
Wait a minute, there is one question, meant to bring up earlier. Where are we at on the lease for the Riverwatch restaurant?
They have our written demand, and he called, Mike met with his attorney, and his attorney called me, and we're just playing phone tag right now. He called last week, so he said that Mike is closed for the season, and now he'll be available to negotiate or work.
Not be available?
He will be available now, because he's not as busy, but they didn't give any indication that they agree to our terms or don't agree, so.
Well,
I should know.
let's give them some kind of deadline. Let's
I
get this
did,
done.
based on our discussions, I made the deadline the end of the year, for sure. And then, we need to have something negotiated and done by the end of the year is the deadline that I presented based on what you guys told me you wanted.
Great.
So, we'll see.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Like I said, we'll get with you guys on a couple of meetings we got to get scheduled outside of normal meetings. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Appreciate it.
Hey, Carrie, do you have a card with you?
Your card? Ms.
Or
Bradley.
your card?
You were there.
Your card,
6 o'clock, right?
give this young lady her I agree with
I have the chocolate.
That's my job.
I think we need another restroom somewhere in here for this end of the park.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Got it all right now? Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Thank you for coming. We still have.
Good night.